A United States recruiter website guide by state. Alabama headhunters, recruiters, employment service companies. AccountMPS.com. Aerotech.com. AheadHR.com. AppleAssociation.com. Beck-Field.com. Bosco-Hubert.com. Comforce.com. DTG-USA.com. DTZI.com. Enditacorp.com. FCPersonnel.com. GreenZArch.com. HCRNetwork.com. IdeallyNGINaringus.com. JobsInAlabama.com. LeadCorp.com. LongsHRS.com. MossRecruiting.com. MatchRelevant.com. MatrixResources.com. Medicom.com. MRLouisville.com. PengEA2.com. PrattBrown.com. RolandTL.com. RWAConsultants.com. Sanfordrose.net. SelectStaffing.com. SmartMove-Recruiting.com. Snelling.com. Tolascent.com. TechSystems.com. Vaco.com. WhitakerCompanies.com. Alaska Headhunters, recruiters, employment service companies. AKExec.com. Elite-employment.com. PBSjobs.com. InfoGroupNW.com. Allen-Partners.com. EBS-Northwest.com. ParkAssociates.com. LumberZArch.com. Jones-Jones.com. Jobs.state.ak.us Alaska Job Center Network. Seafoodjob.com. Arizona Headhunters, recruiters, employment service companies. ArcadiaHealthcare.com. ArizonaDentalStaffing.info. AAAAAAAAA. ArizonaMedicalExchange.com. AztecHPro.com. BIACA.com. C4iStaffing.com. CN-Tech.com. CommercialStaffing.com. Corastaff.com. CulverCareers.com. DeckTuninc.com. DSSTemps.com. Enditacorp.com. ExecuteCRecruiters.com. FocalPointCorp.com. GTSG.com. HFRecruiting.com. HunterEmployment.com. iHispano.com. JobsInez.com. Legenti.com. MixCH.com. Medicom.com. MilestonePowered.com. NESCOResource.com. Nursing-Centers.com. PSMC.com. PowersOurceGlobal.com. Provinciastaffing.com. Rafi.com. SMCI.com. StewartCooperCoon.com. Arkansas Headhunters, recruiters, employment service companies. AccountMPS.com. CarnegieResources.com. CTG.com. Dentist-Jobs-Now.com. EmploymentForYou.com. ExpressPros.com. MRPoultry.com. RedCarPeTemp.com. RemediesTaff.com. ResourceEmployment.com. StaffMark.com. TechJobs.net. TechSystems.com. TrilogyPersonnel.com. WeStaff.com. California Headhunters, recruiters, employment service companies. AccessTalentSolutions.com. AccountMPS.com. ACCRETIveSolutions.com. Act-1.com. AESI.com. AgriAssociates.com. AIMUSA.com. AlanJBlair.com. AmericanRecruiters.com. AnalogSolutions.com. AndersonStaffing.com. AnkGRP.com. BodiliaWinston.com. BahuriaSolsRecruiters.com. BFPS.com. biaca.com, biocasetincture.com, biotechsearch.com, bli-inc.com, bridgessf.com, bristolassociation.com, britechgroup.com, brownschroeder.com, c4istaffing.com, californiastaffingservice.com, century-group.com, choseninc.com, comforce.com, cooltechjobs.com, corastaff.com, cpsinc.com, creativepersonnel.com, culvercareers.com, deborseyarch.com, devonjames.com, dmstone.com, dssc.com, duranhcp.com, dwasearch.com, dynamicsenergy.com, fconet.com, employmentexpert.com, endatacorp.com, enertechresource.com, edusconsulting.com, exceptionalpeople.com, execsearch.com, executivednamics.com, executivesunlimited.com, expresspros.com, factorjobs.com, geese.com, geologics.com, go-staff.com, headyhomestaffing.com, hightechpros.com, hradvisors.com, human-resource.com, indocruit.com, infosoft-inc.com, insurancerecruiting.com, ipsjobs.com, jhdugan.com, jrphilip.com, kerwin.com, coonmed-tech.com, lawtongrp.com, legenti.com, levinlegalsearch.com, lrai.com, masonconcepts.com, mcrae-inc.com, mcflegal.com, medcareernet.com, mpic.org, Mendocino Private Industry Council Incorporated, mpstaff.com, mypsr.com, nelsonstaffing.com, nscoresource.com, newportgroup.com, nwstaffing.com, olistaffing.com, optimusgi.com, pacificstaffing.com, pcninc.com, pinnaclesarchservices.com, projobs4u.com, ptsstaffing.com, rafi.com, rainmakerstaffing.com, ralphanderson.com, rogangroup.com, runitacosta.com, rothstaffing.com, rylesjobs.com, ryanmiller.com, savantconsulting.com, searchfinancegroup.com, selectstaffing.com, shellyhermansearch.com, sysinc.com, taus.com, technicalconnections.com, tempositions.com, ulrichassociates.com, valleytemps.net, vfnco.com, wineprorecruiters.com, workers.com, worktech.com, Colorado Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, accountymps.com, adecousa.com, aerotech.com, agriassociates.com, americanrecruiters.com, aztechhpro.com, barrettbusiness.com, bmacolorado.org, Business Marketing Association, carlsenresources.com, cn-tech.com, coloradojobs.com, corastaff.com, ctg.com, datapeople.com, dbcareer.com, deltaexec.com, demarkey.com, eth9solutions.com, expresspros.com, focalpointcorp.com, hentechsolutions.com, geologics.com, grnboulder.com, huntpatent.com, idea.com, indeedpub.com, inspireid.com, integritynetworking.com, intellisource.com, jrpgroup.net, kenexa.com, kforce.com, lawqteam.com, legenti.com, leanneburgess.com, liaisoncreative.com, med-recruiting.com, microstaff.com, mountaintemp.com, mrcosprings.com, mricolorado.com, nichestaffing.com, novistaffing.com, pdsinc.com, pelis.com, primezourcestaffing.com, prowltco.com, rec.com, selectstaffing.com, shoresnet.com, smithscott.com, snelling.com, sosemploymentgroup.com, sostechnical.com, sodarecruiting.com, spring-technology.com, staffingnow.com, staffmark.com, staffandzarch.com, techsystems.com, wsijobs.com, Connecticut Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, sixfigurejobs.com, Endex.com, armaziziata.com, besen.com, blbco.com, bridgeportitstaffing.com, careerresources.org, careersinconnecticut.com, sysrecruiters.com, clp.com, etrtechcenter.com, executivesunlimited.com, freedmanassociation.com, headhunting.com, hire-logic.com, hudsongrp.com, jassiecarroll.com, jmorrissey.com, jones-mgt.com, kaiserwhitney.com, kirklandzarch.com, coranrogers.com, legenti.com, leadcorp.com, lloydstaffing.com, marketingproresources.com, matthews-stevens.com, mrgsearch.com, msi1.com, o'keefepartners.com, onassignment.com, oriondelta.com, project1.com, reitmanpersonnel.com, rjsassociation.com, searchedp.com, smrlegalsearch.com, staffingnow.com, stephenjames.com, tempositions.com, tierwritensolutions.com, Delaware Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, automotive-career.com, barrettbusiness.com, secoN.com, ebsolutionsinc.com, execjobsearch.com, franklin-tech.com, jobcircle.com, cadenetter.com, norgate.com, reedwaring.com, smrlegalsearch.com, stivers.com, District of Columbia Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, allproplacement.com, allteamstaffing.com, ardell.com, atr.com, barrettbusiness.com, betatecinc.com, biznets.com, careerprofiles.com, chesapeakepartners.net, cmicaros.com, cns-inc.com, contisearch.com, dansources.com, designstaffing.com, elsnerbell.com, epcinc.com, esgisearch.com, geologics.com, graminc.com, hydric.com, invision24.com, jobseekersdirectory.com, jobseekersdirectory.com, cames.com, cornferry.com, laborready.com, legenti.com, lloydstaffing.com, lucasgroup.com, marycraft.com, mjmorgangroup.com, northberman.com, opsearch.com, pacificbridge.com, parkerleynch.com, pattaylor.com, pjlegalsearch.com, portergroup.com, ppsinfo.com, pronetworkgroup.com, recruitersdepot.com, rifood.com, rogangroup.com, russellreynolds.com, savoypartners.com, smrlegalsearch.com, sbci.net, spencers2art.com, srg.net, staffingnow.com, stantonchase.com, thebossgroup.com, themetzena.group.com, tssciconsulting.com, Florida Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, 5-starhere.com, abcstaffing.net, activastaffing.com, agriassociates.com, albionstaffing.com, allmedstaffing.com, americanrecruiters.com, ams-staff.com, bartechgroup.com, cadcaminc.com, cameron-resources.com, cdicorp.com, cictampa.com, computerexpress.com, dsninc.com, endatacorp.com, evanthomas.com, exexfl.com, executesrecruiters.com, xmanning.com, fplenin.com, genesis-global.com, greenwoodsarch.com, hannaassociates.com, highervelocity.com, idea.com, jbcstyle.com, lawtongrp.com, legenti.com, linkstaffing.com, lloydstaffing.com, maryk.com, moses-ang.com, msi1.com, newland-associates.com, norgate.com, personnel1.com, pf1.com, prattbrown.com, recruitersofccwc.com, rsi1.com, sam-search.com, shaygroup.com, skinneranassociates.com, spencers2art.com, ssgrecruiters.com, staffingagencybocaraton.com, staffingnow.com, superiormedicalstaff.com, tavanessa.com, taylorinsurancerecruiters.com, thrivas.com, vaco.com, wolfganggroup.com, Georgia Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, agriassociates.com, americanrecruiters.com, axiomstaffing.com, berkshirerecruiting.com, caldwellpartners.com, career-directions.net, chiptunross.com, compmyncp.com, convergesarch.com, corporate and technicalrecruiters.com, desergroup.com, focalpointcorp.com, gainsintl.com, hamandoherty.com, interimhealthcare.com, legenti.com, lenonzarch.com, lifesciencepartner.com, marketproinc.com, penpjobs.com, parkerzarch.com, roystergroup.com, searchlogicrecruiting.com, smithjames.com, sbci.net, staffingnow.com, stafftechjobs.com, stantonchase.com, technojobs.com, thebossgroup.com, vaco.com, westerberginc.com, Hawaii Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, aerotech.com, altrace.com, bishopco.net, biznets.com, inkinen.com, kahuemalama.com, nurses, laborready.com, snelling.com, TechSystems.com, WeStaff.com, Idaho Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, BarrettBusiness.com, Compa.com, ExpressPros.com, IdahoLegalStaffing.com, Maps.GoogleAPIs.com, Alston.com, SelectStaffing.com, SOSEmploymentGroup.com, SOSTechnical.com, Illinois Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, According.com, AccountTMPS.com, ADECOUSA.com, AdvancedClinical.com, Advancement.com, Aerotech.com, AG-Careers.com, AggressiveCorp.com, AmericanRecruiters.com, ASIN.com, AshleyEllis.com, AspenDentalJobs.com, Belkin.com, BradfordAndGalt.com, BridgePersonnel.com, CADCAMSystemsInc.com, CamdenVale.com, CBurger.com, CCBServices.com, SemcoSystems.com, ChicagoLawJobs.com, CMWAssociation.com, Coefrin.com, CoolTechJobs.com, DeltaTechnical.net, DigitalStaffing.com, DrivaStaff.com, EBSolutionsinc.com, ElectronicsEarch.com, ExtraHelpInc.com, FocalPointCorp.com, FirstTSearch.com, FirstTStaff.com, GainsIntl.com, Garms.com, HannahAssociates.com, Harmer.com, HCI-Search.com, Healthcare-Consulting.com, Higherplane.com, HereYouWill.com, IndeedPub.com, JohnsonPersonnel.com, CapazEarch.com, Kenexa.com, KeyOnline.com, LumberZarch.com, MichaelWayneRecruiters.com, MNinfo.com, Nursing-Centers.com, ParkerLeeAndCH.com, pdelaney.us, Patrick Delaney and Associates Incorporated, Pro-TechSearch.com, PSC-USA.com, QPSCompanies.com, QPSEmployment.com, RemediesTaft.com, RooneyDaCosta.com, SanfordRose.net, SevillaStaffing.com, SmartStaffing.com, Snelling.com, StaffingNow.com, StantonChase.com, SDCSearch.com, StrategicSearch.com, Superior-Staffing.com, TechStaff.com, TheHunterGroup.net, TheLawRecruiters.com, UnitedStaffFingusa.com, VenerablePartners.com, WeStaff.com, Indiana Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, AccountTMPS.com, Aerotech.com, Alpha-Ray.com, ArcadiaHealthcare.com, BarTechGroup.com, Belkin.com, BonePersonnel.com, CFStaffing.com, Coefrin.com, Continental-Design.com, GuessNetwork.com, GTSG.com, iHireTherapy.com, CrewThamerinc.com, LinkStaffing.com, Mayhall.com, MediaRecruiting.com, ParkerLeeAndCH.com, ProResources.biz, ProResources Staffing Services, SearchedP.com, SelectionsTier8Geese.com, SelectStaffing.com, TalaGY.com, ThemerlayGroup.com, UnitedStaffFingusa.com, WeStaff.com, WoodStaffing.com, Iowa Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, AccountTMPS.com, AdvantageResourcing.com, Aerotech.com, ag-careers.com, agriassociates.com, agxccutives.com, 8cusa.com, anwitten.com, aplusrecruiting.com, aspendentaljobs.com, orusgroup.com, burnsandrewpikey.com, cambridge-staffing.com, ceo-recruiters.com, dentist-jobs-now.com, doctorsperDiem.com, dpjobs.com, genesis10.com, hummerag.com, link-us.net, linkstaffing.com, maregisgroup.com, mnrecruiter.com, modis.com, prostaff.com, qpsemployment.com, remediestaff.com, rostie.com, selectstaffing.com, sigconsult.com, sklarzyarch.com, tology.com, talentlogic.com, techteam.com, vermiliongroup.com, Kansas Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, aerotech.com, anthonyexecsearch.com, bsmith.com, callcri.com, dfbryant.com, eflassociates.com, encorejobs.com, grnlawrence.com, inspireid.com, mcginfo.com, morganhunter.com, mwpersonnel.com, nscoresource.com, parkerlynch.com, prostaff.com, sanfordrose.net, snelling.com, spencerreed.com, staffmark.com, strategicstaff.net, westaff.com, wlaweb.com, Kentucky Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, accountymps.com, aheadhr.com, belkin.com, bjmstaffing.com, crownservices.com, ersrecruiters.com, mixch.com, parkerlynch.com, remediestaff.com, selectstaffing.com, tcipro.com, Louisiana Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, accountymps.com, associationstrategies.com, careeradventuresinc.com, clp.com, csi-executivesyarch.com, custom-staffing.com, fraserecruit.com, hubrc.co.uk, Hub Resource Co, huey.com, linkstaffing.com, nationalbanksearch.com, remediestaff.com, snelling.com, staffingnow.com, synergysalesrecruiting.com, techtrend.us, westaff.com, Maine Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, bonniestaffing.com, dmihr.com, executivesyarchne.com, executivesg.com, medicalzourceinc.com, meticulum.com, newagesoft.com, pembertonswift.com, psikros.com, randassociates1.com, rockcoastpersonnel.com, smithandwilkinson.com, staffhunters.net, steelzyarch.com, themarcy.org, Maine Recruitment Center, Maryland Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, allproplacement.com, allteamstaffing.com, atr.com, barrettbusiness.com, betatecinc.com, careerprofiles.com, chesapeakepartners.net, cmikros.com, cns-inc.com, contisearch.com, dansources.com, designstaffing.com, elsnerbell.com, epcinc.com, geologics.com, Graminc.com, Invision24.com, Cames.com, Legenti.com, Lloydstaffing.com, Marycraft.com, MJMorganGroup.com, Upsearch.com, PacificBridge.com, ParkerlyNCH.com, PJLegalSearch.com, PorterGroup.com, PPSinfo.com, ProneTWorkGroup.com, RoganGroup.com, SMRLegalSearch.com, SBCI.net, SRG.net, StaffingNow.com, StantonChase.com, TheBossGroup.com, ThemeTZenaGroup.com, TSSCIConsulting.com, Massachusetts Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, AdvantageESourcing.com, AldenAndAssociation.com, AlternativeSolutions.online.com, ApolloConsultants.com, RZenJobs.com, BodiliaWinston.com, BIVEMGroup.com, BowdenGroup.com, CapitalZArchGroup.com, CISoftware.com, ClearPNT.com, ComputerExpress.com, CorpGrow.com, CSA-Teach.com, DanaAssociates.com, DXDTStaffing.com, E-Placers.com, ExecJobSearch.com, FoodManagementSearch.com, FordWeb.com, GCRTemps.com, Geologics.com, HamblinGroup.com, Hopkins.com, Infinity-Staff.com, JMorrissey.com, JohnLeonard.com, KBWFinancial.com, Legenti.com, Mainc.com, Massmedic.com, MonumentStaffing.net, MSI1.com, NDT.com, NewAgeSoft.com, OlsKY.com, PhillipsDePisa.com, PHYJob.com, Profalt.com, QualSearch.com, Rafi.com, ReardonAssociates.com, Recruitingspecialists.com, RemediesTaft.com, RPGcareers.com, SMRLegalSearch.com, StaffHunters.net, SDAblePeabody.com, SullivanKRice.com, TheLawRegistry.com, Todays.com, TopsFPC.com, Trelean-Inc.com, UnitedPersonnel.com, Michigan Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, AdvancedHealthAlliance.com, AJMPS.com, AMAGUS.com, AmyCellTalent.com, ArcadiaHealthcare.com, AutomationAlley.com, AutomotiveStaffing.com, AutoProtect.com, BarTechGroup.com, BeaconWeb.com, Belkin.com, Belflex.com, Co-Staff.com, Collins-Associates.com, DayPersonnel.com, DMSHome.com, DonahuePatterson.com, ElwoodStaffing.com, EmploymentGroup.com, ExecuteCHJobs.com, GDII.com, GStatic.com, IndeedPub.com, InterimHealthcare.com, JobsForYou.com, KRATech.com, LakelandZArch.com, LordstoneCorp.com, Maps.GoogleAPIs.com, MediaGroup.com, MidlandConsultants.com, NeaGroup.com, ParagonUSA.com, ParkerlyNCH.com, SanfordRose.net, Vaco.com, WGSearch.com, WolverineTech.com, Minnesota Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, AccountTMPS.com, AdvancedPracticeSolutions.com, Agriplacements.com, ambiryan.com, aciemployment.com, bernhardt.com, bondtechnologies.com, callcri.com, cdalgroup.com, cellority.com, ctg.com, denhart.com, dohertyeg.com, dohertystaffing.com, esp.com, fhjobs.com, georgekoenig.com, guessrkhmn.com, haydenzarch.com, helpwantedinc.com, indeedpub.com, genethorne.com, liaisoncreative.com, link-us.net, markentpersonnel.com, maxrecruiting.com, mazsearch.com, minnesotanonprofits.org/jobs, mnpwr.com, mnrecruiter.com, modis.com, professionalrecruiters.com, sanfordrose.net, selectstaffing.com, solutiondesign.com, spg-consulting.com, twincitestaffing.com, unitedstafffingusa.com, weatherhillsgroup.com, westaff.com, winternet.com, Mississippi Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, aerotech.com, allegiancestaffing.com, baumanandassociates.com, brandnonprofessionals.com, corpimg.com, cpi-group.com, kineticstaffing.com, prostaffgroup.com, selectstaffing.com, Missouri Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, allancg.com, allteamstaffing.com, oenc.org Alternative Opportunities, charleselunce.com, cmwassociation.com, encorejobs.com, enterprisemed.com, gigsalad.com, huey.com, indeedpub.com, jmneal.com, job-recruiters.com, kendallpracticesolutions.com, lindhc.com, medecom.com, morganhunter.com, norgate.com, sysinc.com, tech-staffing.com, tlrec.com, tstaffing.com, Montana Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, a2zmontana.com, aerosolutionsgroup.com, belken.com, careersinmontana.com, employmentsource.biz and p=10 employmentsource, interimhealthcare.com, juatoa.com, nelsonpersonnel.com, newcenturuyag.com, snelling.com, spectra-association.com, westaff.com, westaffmt.com, workforce-inc.com, Nebraska Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, advantageousstaffing.com, agriassociates.com, aheadhr.com, canexa.com, nscoresource.com, rsimedical.com, Nevada Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, accessexecutives.com, accessexecutives.com, alleensplacements.com, allteamstaffing.com, alpha-ray.com, amnhealthcare.com, oenc.org Alternative Opportunities, astra.com, biaca.com, cardiologypositions.com, clovergs.com, compa.com, creativegroup.com, culvercareers.com, cynergeese.net, dectuninc.com, dentalrecruitersinc.com, eastridge.com, eastridge.com, elwoodstaffing.com, gibsonarnold.com, gstatic.com, holohangroup.com, Indeedpub.com, Infinity-CS.com, jwilliamsstaffing.com, kendallandavis.com, kineticstaffing.com, laborworks.com, lamortsearch.com, legenti.com, lindhc.com, lucasgroup.com, mdainc.com, medsourceconsultants.com, medwarno.com, milby-oliver.com, millenniumstaff.com, mrisales.net, msnhealth.com, nscoresource.com, onwardhealthcare.com, onyxmd.com, optimos.com, p2s.com, Palo Alto's tafingtech.com, paradigmassociates.us, parkerleynch.com, physicianrecruiting.com, ppswork.com, prowltco.com, protomps-staffing.com, reitmanpersonnel.com, resourcemfg.com, rooneyAssociates.net, rothstaffing.com, arfoenthigo.com, securityrecruiter.com, selectstaffing.com, soi.net, sosemploymentgroup.com, sourcestaffing.com, staffmark.com, staffplus.org, tcipro.com, thebrentwoodgroup.com, toddjobs.com, tristaff.com, walterpmore.com, woodmoor.com, worksq1.com, workway.com, www.medical.com, yoh.com, yorkexecutivesearch.org, New Hampshire Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, rzenjobs.com, bonniestaffing.com, ccsinc.com, chaucer-group.com, compass-sys.com, edwardblack.com, firstgroup.com, goodwin-associates.com, kbwfinancial.com, msi1.com, newedgesoft.com, printquest.com, staffhunters.net, westaff.com, zymac.com, New Jersey Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, accounttmps.com, act-1.com, activastaffing.com, agilightassist.com, allenthomas.com, altaassociates.com, altco.com, ams-staff.com, automotive-career.com, bakerpersonnel.com, bodiliawinston.com, besen.com, blbco.com, bonniefield.com, bryantstaffing.com, careermanagementgroup.com, careersforretail.com, cartermckenzie.com, sysrecruiters.com, cnirecruiting.com, commonagenda.com, conchassociates.com, connectionspersonnel.com, cornerstonesg.com, deviscos.com, edgewatergroup.com, etrtechcenter.com, executivesunlimited.com, fortek.com, franklin-tech.com, headhunting.com, indeedpub.com, infinity-staff.com, jobcircle.com, jobsbl.com, casplacement.com, coranrogers.com, legenti.com, lloydstaffing.com, logistic-solutions.com, marianzarch.com, marketingproresources.com, mossrecruiting.com, mlstaffinginc.com, norgate.com, ontimestaffing.com, oriondelta.com, portergroup.com, project1.com, protocolstaffing.com, qualsearch.com, romergroup.com, rcmt.com, searchedp.com, cheyenneassociates.com, smrlegalsearch.com, solomonzarch.com, tempositions.com, thebossgroup.com, thebrentwoodgroup.com, ultimatesolutions.com, unitedstaffing.com, vaco.com, New Mexico Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, compa.com, optimos.com, pdsinc.com, rapidtemps.com, sabiosystems.com, santafestaffing.com, sosemploymentgroup.com, New York Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, 247inc.com, accessstaffingco.com, accountmps.com, accurservices.com, aclion.com, actionrecruitmentnetty.com, activastaffing.com, addisonzarch.com, adecousa.com, admiralstaffinginc.com, aefeldman.com, aerotech.com, alliedpersonnel.com, analyticrecruiting.com, ontal.com, artisantalent.com, b-stone.com, bankstaffers.com, bodiliawinston.com, bahuriasolsrecruiters.com, beaconhillstaffing.com, bishoppartners.com, blbco.com, bluewolf.com, bmarkits.com, bonellryan.com, caldwellpartners.com, cannybowen.com, careerobject.com, careersforretail.com, careersonthemove.com, carlsonbeck.com, cfires.com, chaloner.com, cheyennegroup.com, sysrecruiters.com, clarkcarch.com, comforce.com, comforce.com, compliancesarch.com, compliancestaffing.com, comprehensivenet.com, connectionsnewyork.com, cookassociates.com, crandallassociates.com, ctspartners.net, customstafffingoffwestchester.com, davidbarrettpartners.com, distinctivepersonnel.com, drgneek.com, drum2000.com, drumassociates.com, dtg-usa.com, dynamicseneek.com, eahughes.com, edgewatergroup.com, fconet.com, epdyne.com, epicstaffing.com, equinoxsearch.com, etrtechcenter.com, etsjobs.com, execu-search.com, easyfashionjobs.com, fogartynap.com, forestsolutions.com, GaiaHumanCapital.com, Genesis10.com, GuessNetwork.com, GloriaK.net, GradyLeftKov.com, GreenKeyLLC.com, GriffithHoldings.com, HeckHKoff.com, HerbertMines.com, HAmanAssociates.com, HospitalityTalentScouts.com, HiRyan.com, InsightGlobal.net, InspireID.com, InterfISIO.com, IrwinWards.com, IWRecruiters.com, JAExecutiveSearch.com, JBCStyle.com, JBHomer.com, JobsBL.com, Jones-MGT.com, JuniperZStems.com, CarlyN.com, CassPlacement.com, KellerAugusta.com, NapConsultants.com, CoraNRogers.com, KramerExec.com, Landover.com, LorryGroup.com, LawFirmPeople.com, LH-Int.com, LloydStaffing.com, LPalmer.com, lucasgroup.com, linpomerink.com, mcpherson-group.com, mapalastaffing.com, marketingproresources.com, martinpartners.com, maxjob.com, medfarmsales.com, michaelpage.com, mindex.com, moyersherwood.com, nationalsalescaros.com, nbichellistaffing.com, ndsassociation.com, newedgesoft.com, newworldstaffing.org, nmgsearch.com, officesteam.com, alston.com, onwardhealthcare.com, oriondelta.com, oxbridgegroup.com, pathalon.com, pcasearch.com, pencom.com, philipsoppenheim.com, pinnaclegroup.com, pnp-inc.com, princeton1.com, profile-int.co.uk, project1.com, sci4jobs.com, qualsearch.com, randstad.com, rayburnson.com, resourcesolutians.com, responsco.com, riottojones.com, readusue.com, samlaurie.com, selectstaffing.com, sfp8.com, sigconsult.com, silive.com, siplacement.com, snelling.com, springassociates.com, sbtechpartners.com, staffitinfo.com, stone-search.com, successcomgroup.com, supplementalhealthcare.com, taxintegrity.com, taxlawjobs.com, thealexandergroup.com, theaelfusgroup.com, thebossgroup.com, thebuffkingroup.com, thefozhionetwork.com, thegouldgroup.net, thejobsnetwork.com, themelanieendersonagency.com, thepremiergroup.com, theprincetongroup.com, tds-media.com, unitedstaffing.com, updategraphics.com, updatelegal.com, vesnamedicalstaffing.com, vintagelegal.com, wallstreetservices.com, walshnewyork.com, wtwassociates.com, North Carolina Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, Carolina's eArchGroupUSA.com, pridastaff.com, Providence's eArchGroup.com, rrstaffing.com, sourceabilityinc.com, technicalimage.net, theclarksgroup.com, vacoorlando.com, North Dakota Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, aerotech.com, biznets.com, commandoonline.com, elwoodstaffing.com, energyjobnow.com, expresspros.com, laborready.com, sbharian.com, trilliumstaffing.com, westaff.com, Ohio Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, beaconhillstaffing.com, bestautopros.com, indeedpub.com, insightglobal.net, iwrecruiters.com, lauriemitchellcompany.com, majorlegalservices.com, newertechnical.com, pridastaff.com, qualityexec.com, rsirecruiters.com, solutionsstaffing.com, vacoorlando.com, yabanker.com, Oklahoma Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, raytechtulsa.com, accountingprinciples.com, aerotech.com/scientific/scientific-jobs.aspx, americanstaffcorp.com, biznets.com, commandoonline.com, elwoodstaffing.com, employeesolutians.com, expresspros.com, freedompersonnelokc.com, gkgrecruiting.com, grnoklahomacity.com, huntpatent.com, jgifford.com, joko.com, joyreadbeltsearch.com, keyjobs.com, laborready.com, linkstaffing.com, lloydrichardspersonnel.com, msnhealth.com, nscoresource.com, paralonjobs.com, peoplesourceok.com, primerecruiting.com, prorecruiters.com, roland-group.com, smartstaffing.us, standbypersonnel.com, sunbeltstaffingoklahoma.com, switchgearrecruiting.com, taxsearchinc.com, tnezpersonnel.com, villarealassociates.com, westaff.com, wolfgugler.com, Oregon Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, Dorigan.com, gstatic.com, indeedpub.com, maps.googleapis.com, newportsolutionsgroup.com, prosourcenetwork.com, theengineerheadhunter.com, westcoastcareersoregon.com, Pennsylvania Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, cpsi-md.com, dpstaffing.com, htss-inc.com, jfconline.com, magellangroup.com, majorlegalservices.com, msbresources.com, onesourcestaffing.com, prioritiestaffinginc.com, randstad.com, rcmhealthcare.com, storbeckpimentel.com, Rhode Island Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, aerotech.com, biznets.com, ccrsonline.com, citypersonnel.net, crsco.com, edwardblack.com, expresspros.com, laborready.com, ligaturepartners.com, maximstaffing.com, msi1.com, mtsg.com, redfishtech.com, spectratracy.com, thepersonnelpeople.com, westaff.com, South Carolina Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, Carolina ZArchGroupUSA.com, EasternDesign.com, Healthcare-Resourcesgroup.com, PridaStaff.com, VacoOrlando.com, South Dakota Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, Aerotech.com, AvailabilityEmployment.com, Biznets.com, DakotaCareers.com, ExpressPros.com, LaborReady.com, SBHArian.com, TrilliumStaffing.com, Tennessee Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, AgriAssociates.com, AmericanRecruiters.com, AnalogSolutions.com, Athatech.com, AustinAllen.com, ConsolidatedMedicalStaffing.com, CorpIMG.com, Enditacorp.com, JCMalone.com, JDResources.com, LeadsandLeads.com, P2S.com, Premier.net, Summerfield.net, WPScaros.com, Texas Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, AccountTMPS.com, AccuCom.com, AdeccoUSA.com, AgriAssociates.com, AheadHR.com, Ajustice.com, AlenaAustin.com, AmeritechStaffingInc.com, AttorneyResource.com, Babbage.com, BalanceStaffing.com, Beck-Field.com, Bergala.com, BestWorld.com, BFLAssociates.com, bravotech.com, burnets.com, burnetspecialists.com, career-directions.net, carltaylorco.com, completestaffing.com, csi-executivesarch.com, custom-staffing.com, dcaprosearch.com, decisionstrategies.com, dfwtrn.org, DFW Texas Recruiters Network, dmdickinson.com, dmlonline.com, dudleyandassociation.com, eaplus.com, elwoodstaffing.com, encompassenergy.com, endatacorp.com, enertechresource.com, evanspersonnelconsultants.com, executeserecruiters.com, executivesunlimited.com, fhjobs.com, focalpointcorp.com, fpcsat.com, frontlinezourcegroup.com, gasunlim.com, geologics.com, globaltechnical.com, greywolfconsulting.com, grnaustin.com, gstatic.com, gtntechnicalstaffing.com, highprofilestaffing.com, huntpatent.com, imparimus.com, indeedpub.com, interimhealthcare.com, interzourcerecruiting.com, jcmalone.com, jdasi.com, jerichohr.com, johnworth.com, josephchris.com, kmcon.com, kbic.com, leadersinc.com, legenti.com, leyendecker.com, liaisoncreative.com, linkstaffing.com, lra-recruiting.com, maps.googleapis.com, marketproinc.com, mcginfo.com, meter.com, moseslegal.com, mrlouisville.com, mrpoultry.com, nscoresource.com, nnlegalsearch.com, norgate.com, pedley-richard.com, pinnacle1.com, pmr-solutions.com, preferred-personnel.com, prescottlegal.com, primusassociates.com, protectarch.com, pilegalgroup.com, questpersonnel.com, rafi.com, rapidtemps.com, remediestaff.com, richieone.com, robinsconsulting.com, sanfordrose.net, scdallas.com, searchedp.com, skilled.com, snelling.com, spencers2art.com, staffingnow.com, staffmark.com, stantonchase.com, stark-group.com, tagachieve.com, taxsearchinc.com, technologyrecruiting.com, triangletechnology.com, ttstaff.com, ultimatestaffing.com, vaco.com, vipsearchgroup.com, walterpmoore.com, whatcansearch.com, wiseman.net, Utah Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, andersonstaffing.com, apexjobs.net, cn-tech.com, criut.com, executivesunlimited.com, franklin-tech.com, innovativestaffing.com, jobs.utah.gov, nscoresource.com, perelson.com, skillstaff.com, sosemploymentgroup.com, sostechnical.com, strategicstaffs.com, utahemploy.com, vistastaff.com, Vermont Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, jtracy.com, westaff.com, Virginia Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, aerotech.com, AppleAssociation.com, Ardell.com, AirzanAssociatesInc.com, BetaTechInc.com, ChesapeakePartners.net, CLP.com, CMIKRus.com, CNS-Inc.com, ContiCSearch.com, CTRC.com, DesignStaffing.com, DiversityZArchPartners.com, DSSTemps.com, EBSolutionsinc.com, ETSDental.com, ExclusivaStaffing.com, Geologics.com, Graminc.com, Idea.com, Kforce.com, MediQstaff.com, Mose-DDS.com, Alston.com, Opsearch.com, Optimos.com, ParkerlyNCH.com, PCP-Inc.com, PorterGroup.com, Profalt.com, ProtomPS-Staffing.com, RichmondJobs.org/NP=34 Richmond Jobs High, SearchedP.com, SHSPersonnel.com, SRG.net, StaffingNow.com, StephenJames.com, TeamACI.com, TheBossGroup.com, TheleeGroup.com, Udig.com, ValjeanEnterprises.net, WeStaff.com, Washington Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, 5-starhere.com, AgriAssociates.com, Allen-Partners.com, AmericanRecruiters.com, ArcadiaHealthcare.com, ASAPBiz.com, AtCarney.com, BarrettBusiness.com, BigFishPromo.com, Careers-NW.com, SysRecruiters.com, CoxGroup.com, CSRTech.com, Demetrio.com, DevinJames.com, DHRInternational.com, EBS-Northwest.com, ElwoodStaffing.com, EmployCo.com, EvansCottGroup.com, Ferry-Association.com, FilterTalent.com, FoodRecruiter.com, GlobalTechnoConcepts.com, GoodStaff.com, GStatic.com, HightechPros.com, HRPMSI.com, IndeedPub.com, IndeedPub.com, InfoGroupNW.com, JobSpringPartners.com, JuristaFF.com, KirkBrideAssociation.com, Legenti.com, LWFoot.com, Maps.GoogleAPIs.com, MCEStaffing.com, MosesLegal.com, MySourceConsulting.com, NWStaffing.com, Opsearch.com, Orion.com, PacificLawJobs.com, ParkAssociates.com, PearmanWillets.com, RussellReynolds.com, SaleStallenTincture.com, SelectStaffing.com, StaffMark.com, StaffTechJobs.com, SustainableHire.com, TerraStaffingGroup.com, Todays.com, TradesmenInternational.com, VitaGroupIntl.com, WashingtonHealthCareCareers.com, WorkBridgeAssociates.com, WSLHA.org Washington Speech and Hearing, West Virginia Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, Aerotech.com, Biznets.com, Biznets.com, ExpressPros.com, HollingerJobs.com, JLNixon.com, LaborReady.com, SedonaAGServices.com, SBHarian.com, Wisconsin Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, Argus-Tech.com, AspenDentalJobs.com, Co-Staff.com, DohertyStaffing.com, DTech.com, ErgMRI.com, fhjobs.com, jonaswalters.com, kinza.com, link-us.net, mnpwr.com, mnrecruiter.com, nursing-centers.com, qpscompanies.com, seekcareers.com, sdsstaffing.com, waterstonegroup.net, westaff.com, Wyoming Headhunters, Recruiters, Employment Service Companies, adecousa.com, aerosolutionsgroup.com, expresspros.com, smartmove-recruiting.com, sosemploymentgroup.com, wyadak-staffing.com, wystaffing.com,